I think given his match winner against Wolves, most people will say that Harvey Barnes deserves to start against Fulham, but I think it all comes down to a really difficult question for Eddie Howe, and that is who is the better left winger? Is it Anthony Gordon or is it Harvey Barnes? Because whoever he starts out on the left means the other will have to start out on the right, and I think both are less effective when they do start out on the right flank. So Eddie Howe has to find the answer to that really difficult question. But what a wonderful dilemma for Eddie Howe to have two goal-scoring wingers. Gordon probably the better all-round player, but Barnes is very exciting. Really looking forward to seeing him injury-free, and I think he'll prove to be worth every single penny that Newcastle United paid Leicester City for last summer.
Yes, it will be a start for Harvey Barnes, in my opinion, against Fulham. Did more than enough against Wolverhampton Wanderers on Sunday. That strike, what a strike, by the way. Good enough to win any game, and certainly should be enough to confirm he's in that starting lineup at Craven Cottage. How Eddie Howe lines up his front three, well, I suppose as long as Harvey Barnes is in it, it shouldn't really matter too much because he's got versatility, as we've seen. But just look at his record since he recovered from that awkward sort of toe injury last season. I think every time he's had an opportunity, he's taken it. I think he deserves a run of games now. So for me, he would definitely be starting at Fulham, and hopefully it's the beginning of a long, prosperous run for him in the team after, as I say, scoring that wonder goal at Wolves, worthy of getting in the team against Fulham this weekend.
Well, for me, I think you should always start your best players in your best positions, which means Anthony Gordon starts on the left for Newcastle. He's proven time and again that that's his best position. But also, I think Harvey Barnes does deserve a start. So that means for me, play him on the right-hand side of the attack. They're both more than capable of swapping wings when things aren't quite working, if Eddie Howe wants to try something different. But Barnes is right-footed. I would like to see him get past the full-back and get some crosses into the box for Alexander Isak, who I think has been starved of service quite a lot so far this season. So I think that's where I would fit him into the team. He's not particularly pacey like maybe Jacob Murphy is, but I still think he's got the skills to do that and get some decent crosses into the box.
Well, I've had my reservations in the last couple of weeks for a couple of reasons. One, because of how well Jacob Murphy was playing in pre-season. Two, because of how good it is having an option like Harvey Barnes to come off the bench. And number three, because it would mean moving Anthony Gordon out of his preferred position on the left to the right. But it's hard to deny that Eddie Howe's best three options going forward are Harvey Barnes, Alexander Isak and Anthony Gordon. And I think he needs to try and find a way to make those three work, even if it means moving Anthony Gordon out to the right.
Well, this is the most predictable answer ever, but I'm struggling to think of a reason why Harvey Barnes shouldn't come back into the Newcastle United side, other than maybe history will repeat itself and he'll score another wonder goal from the bench. But, I thought he was unlucky to begin with to come out of the side. Obviously waited patiently for that first league start of the season against Spurs, scored a great goal that day, but when he came out of the team, what was really striking was his attitude. Could have sulked, but he came on desperate to help Newcastle when they were a goal down against Wolves, and we all know what happened next. He steps up with that winning goal late on. A moment of magic, a finish right at the top drawer. Don't need me to talk you through. You probably watched it about 100 times now. And it's a moment we know he's capable of. Anyone who watched him in his final season at Leicester knows he's got that finish in his locker. I think we've seen it at times at Newcastle as well. We know he can be an impact player. The vast majority of his goals for Newcastle have been as a substitute, and I think the next step for him really is proving that he can be one of the first names on the team sheet, because his numbers would merit that, and that's the challenge for him. He's had a stop-start beginning to his Newcastle United career, but you look at the run of games they have ahead of them. What have they got to lose to start him, Gordon and Isak? I know both Barnes and Gordon like to cut in off the left. I know they love playing on the left, but Newcastle didn't buy Harvey Barnes to be an understudy to Anthony Gordon. If they can incorporate those three into the same front line at a time when, as it stands, Newcastle as an attacking force, they haven't really clicked yet, I think it could go a long way to deciding their fate this season, because these are the three most potent finishers, and for me, they need them all on the field at once.